Happy Friday, February 19th, 2021. Welcome to the 3 Things I Learned in SaaS, Sports, Tech, and Live Events for this week's special edition, Culture Edition. One of the things that we get asked to speak about the most is culture. And the reason we get asked this, not because I'm good at it, is because our team has a really great culture. We have really high scores on internal surveys. We've had really high scores on some of the review sites. We've also won a lot of awards, and all of those awards have not been pay to play. We don't do any of the pay to play culture awards. Now, I don't know any of the answers, and I don't aspire to be a culture guru at all. And like all things in the 3 things, really what we're trying to share is all the mistakes we made along the way, so other people don't make them. So here are the 4 things we learned about building an award-winning culture. And I don't know how we have an award-winning culture, but here are some things that have helped us get there along the way. Number one thing that really changed how we were doing things back in 2012 is we stopped focusing on how people should act, and we started to understand how they do think and act. That sounds really simple, but instead of trying to find and create perfect people that can do all 10 things well that you're asking them to do, we gave that up and we started trying to create the best environment for imperfect people to succeed. If somebody was really great at 6 of the 10 things, then we could buttress them with somebody who could do those other 4 things well. That seems very simple, but it will change your business significantly when you start to understand that everybody has faults, including yourself, and if you create the perfect world for your imperfect people, you're going to be a lot more successful. That's number 1. Number 2, and honestly, this changed our business maybe more than anything. It's just a tweet I read 7 or 8 years ago that said, if you want to be loved, you have to give up trying to be liked. And that sounds really simple, but it's not. You're trying to be loved by your customers, by your staff, by your partners, by your investors, and by the people that are around there. That only comes with them loving you for all of the things that you are. That includes your positives and your faults. And that has to go the other direction too. It has to be an understanding of those things. It sounds nice to be able to say that you're not worried about being liked because you're focused on being loved. But it's pretty difficult to do, and it isn't for the faint of heart. Because when people don't love you and they don't like you, there's only one other choice. That's number 2. And on the same theme, and number 3, something that surprises people a little bit here, we stopped caring about whether our team liked each other. When we started the business, we focused on the happy hours and the outings, and we still do all of those things. And we really tried to focus on our team spending time with one another. We realized that was the wrong approach. We don't care if our staff likes each other, but we do demand that they respect one another. Friendships are nice, but they're not necessary for success as a team. You know, there's people at our company, and this surprises people when I say it, there's people at this company that I'm not friends with, and they're not friends with me, and I'm quite certain that they don't even like me very much. But I know that they respect me, and I respect them, and more importantly, I trust them. Once we start to focus on what a working team looks like, and stop focusing on the friendships and the surface level stuff, you can start to be really successful and have a great culture where people know what's expected of them. That's number 3, and this week we do have a number 4. Number 4, and this is really important. We've said this in the 3 things in the past, that there's only 3 ways out of a job. You're either terminated, you quit, or there's a tragedy of some kind. We want everybody to quit. And that sounds nice, and it's true. But how does that apply to culture? It applies to culture because you focus on that day. You work backwards, almost like a choose-your-own-adventure book where you go to the adventure ending the way you want it to. And that's with them quitting to achieve X goal, which they've relayed to you. It is the single and only measure that matters to you as a servant leader. The servant leadership metrics that you have towards your board and investors is different. Those are number-based, success, profit, etc. But when you're working with a team, you really only have one measure you need to worry about. Are you providing them the opportunity to quit the way they wanted to quit when they came and joined your team? That's what we've learned along the way. I'm sure we'll change all of these over the years, but those are things that we've done that have made Ticket Manager a much better place to work for everybody and a place that I really love. That's it for this week. See everybody next week on the 3 Things.